Ragtime blues sounds amazing. Check out this piece that I'm working on for my BGI members. Ragtime guitar is snappy and fun to play, but it's a difficult style to learn. Let's unpack what makes it hard and what we can do about it. This example starts on G and then moves to D7, which is normal, but then we switch from G down to an E7, then A7. What? I mean, these E7s and A7s aren't normally found in a G blues, and these chords seem a little bit out of left field and can be kind of difficult to make sense of, and that's something we tackled back in Tuesday Blues number 266. But along with spending time understanding the left brain analytical side of things, do this. Actually learn a few common ragtime chord progressions like They're Red Hot by Robert Johnson, West Coast Blues by Blind Blake, or this one, Trucking My Blues Away by Blind Boy Fuller. See, you don't have to tackle the fancy finger picking of Fuller or Blake right in the beginning of trying to get your hands around this style. Just strum through the chord progression, and oftentimes you'll notice that the melody is kind of embedded in the chord changes, and this will help get the changes under your fingers and help the ragtime style come into focus for you. And let's be honest, just strumming through these chords can be a party waiting to happen. It's a pretty lively style of playing. Many ragtime guitar parts require intricate picking that's pretty tricky to learn, but we can overcome that by practicing the right things. Practice basic patterns like this one. This pattern is very useful and it shows up in a lot of ragtime picking, and it's based around an alternating bass line, alternating between two strings, the 5th string and the 4th string for a chord rather that's got its root on the 5th string, like this C major. And when we flip over to this A7, you can play your A7 that way. I'm playing it this way, but the root is on the 5th string. So we go 5-4, 5-4, the string numbers, just back and forth. When we switch to a chord with the root on the 6th string, we go 6-4, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. All right, and then the picking that happens on top of that is really what makes this come alive melodically. So what we're going to do is pluck the bass, and then on beats 2 and 3, we're going to hit the 1st string open. Remember, we've got 1, 2, 3 with the bass, right? On beat 4, or actually on the end of 3, I want to sneak this 2nd string in there. All right, and there's some magic to the timing of that, but we'll talk about that in a second. And then finally, beat 4 is with the thumb 4th string. So here's what we have pattern-wise. One more time. Just looping that over. And now what I'm going to do is change to my A7. There's the D7 and the G7. Remember that when we hit these chords, we just switched to 6-4, 6-4. That's a handy pattern, but right now we're not making it bounce. We can and we should do that later, but first you got to train your fingers to cover the movement that you need. Blake and others had a real bounce to their playing, a lift to it, and you can almost see when you hear these tunes, people dancing and enjoying themselves. Ragtime has that lively feel to it, and it's full of tricky syncopated rhythms that help to give it that lift. But here's an exercise that can help you get there. Let's revisit our basic picking pattern. Right, there's nothing special about that. It's pretty flat. It definitely doesn't have the bounce that we're looking for ragtime. The first thing we're going to do in this exercise is we're going to focus on beats 2 and 4. This will help give it that jump, right? If you think about beats 2 and 4, like say a rock and roll backbeat, boom, cat, boom, cat. That's where the snare pops and really helps to lift the music. We're going to do that by accenting beats 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 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 and 4. Really what I want to do is with my thumb, it's really in charge here. I want to pluck that through a little bit harder on beats 2 and 4, which is great because we're starting on the 5th string both of the times when you hit the 4th string with the bass. That's a 2 or a 4, right? So when you hit that 4th string, I want to hit it with a little more attack, or better yet, make everything else a little bit quieter to make 2 and 4 just kind of stand out a little bit. And the other things that really make this come together are some muting techniques. And what we're going to do is on the fretboard, what I'm doing, especially on those beats, is I'm picking up my finger slightly off the fretboard, but not off the strings. I just want the strings that have been fretted, like that bass note, to just kind of choke out after I play it. Hear how having the long bass note and then the short bass note kind of helps to create that little bounce. And when you combine that with picking those beats a little bit harder, you get a little bit of that lift, a little bit of that energy. Practice adding some punch into your parts with that little picking exercise and adding an accent on beats 2 and 4, and also using that little staccato trick where I'm just lifting up slightly off of the fretboard. That'll help make this thing bounce for you. Not every rag is fast, but a lot of them are, and with so many notes to handle, even a moderately paced tune feels much faster than it really is at times. How can we make this easy? Take time to practice the parts so well that you know exactly what each finger is supposed to do at a slow tempo before trying to go full plaid. Speed takes time. While there isn't really a shortcut to building speed, you can practice with a targeted approach like I shared in lesson 347. And here's the Cliff Notes version of my approach. Use a metronome and practice your part at a very comfortable tempo. Remember to know your part very well at a slow tempo before doing speed work like this. Then gradually work up to a tempo that you actually struggle with over the course of, say, a practice session. And once you struggle, note the tempo that you encounter that struggle, but increase the tempo a little bit beyond that struggle, say another 10 BPM or so, and try again. Things should fall apart here, but that's actually a good thing. You need to know what lies ahead, and you need to start working at the edge of your capability. And this is where the work begins. Go back to the last tempo that you could do successfully and drill it for a few minutes, and then try to increase the tempo again and see if it's coming together. Work at that edge of your ability and continually test yourself to see if you're ready to move on to the next level. Planning out your speed work like this yields results faster than blindly trying to play it at the goal tempo and repeatedly failing. This is where the metronome really earns its keep. Of course, good finger picking technique is at the base of all this, so if you want to start building a nice set of finger picking skills, download my free guide, 5 Essential Finger Picking Exercises. It's helped a lot of pickers, and I think it can help you get off on the right foot when it comes to finger picking. And if you want to keep learning, just click or tap right over here, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, practice smart and play on.